Hello, guys. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. Today, today we're going live with Malavika Mohanan. She is just joining right now. She's just connecting.
Hi,
Hi,
Purnia.
Malavika. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Just having a very lazy day, but good otherwise. I just
Yeah, same
wanted to
here.
we have a lot of viewers all of a sudden. I just wanted to quickly, can you just, I mean, we have
hmm
chatted, but can you just give a brief intro about yourself, like just a basic one?
I've always been so horrible at this, speaking about my own body of work. But yeah, I'm an actor, and I prefer calling myself a pan-Indian actor because
Mhm.
I've acted in various languages, including Hindi, Tamil, Malayalam.
You
And
speak all these.
I'm a Bombay girl. I have grown up entirely in Mumbai. In fact, I have never been out of Mumbai for school, college, post graduation, nothing. Like I'm an out and out Bombay girl. I went to school here. I went to college here. All of my friends are from Bombay. So I grew up speaking, Hindi and English, of course, and apart from that, Malayalam because that's what my parents spoke at home. And yeah, they are very connected to their Malayali roots. So as a result of which, me and my brother grew up, with a very strong Malayaliness to us, sort of, so to speak. So yeah, I speak these languages, but not the rest. The rest I've had to like sit and work on, and you know, sit and learn
Difficult,
my dialogues.
so difficult learning dialogues in a language you don't understand. I,
Absolutely, absolutely. It is very difficult. In fact, I just completed my second Tamil film. It's called Master. It's with Vijay sir, and yeah. So my process is like I start learning all my dialogues at least a week or two in advance. I ask them, I badger them. In fact, if the director's not even ready with the dialogue, I'll be like, no, you have to give it to me. I need like at least minimum of a week to be thorough with my lines, so that when I'm on the spot I can focus entirely on the emotion, on the construction of the scene, so to speak, instead of
that's
thinking about what word to say next.
yeah, because that
So
can be distracting. Yeah. Okay, so
yeah, I
basically, I
mean
want.
when you're
Oh,
Mhm.
no, go ahead. Go ahead. Hmm.
I was just saying that when you're performing in a language that you're familiar with, or that you have a command over, even if you forget a word or even if you forget a line, you can always improvise, because
Exactly.
you know what you're supposed to say, you know where the scene is heading. But when you're stuck on the spot, and the worst thing is when sometimes you're done with like three-fourths of the scene, and it's gone perfectly, and then you get stuck on like one word and you can't remember it, and like everybody has to redo the whole scene because of you, so it gets really it's a very anxiety inducing thing. So I just prefer being prepared.
That's amazing. I mean, I really admire actors who, work in languages that is not their first, second, or third language, and they don't fully understand. It takes a lot. Okay, so I wanted to discuss a few things because I think even as an actor, you're very unique. Um, just just from how your career started, was Beyond the Clouds your first film?
Thank you for saying that. Beyond the Clouds was not my first film. I've worked on three films in Malayalam before that. So it wasn't my first film. It was my first Hindi slash international, so to speak, because it wasn't an out and out quote unquote Bollywood film.
Right.
The director was Farsi. His team was from Iran, but the production was Indian. The actors were Indian. The story was happening here, so it was like a mix of different kinds of people from different places. So
So, like, I want to ask for a lot of people, like just girls who want and guys who want to get into this space, um, like how does one even go about it? Like, for example, you hear about this big Oscar winning director
right.
casting. Like, how did you even hear
Mhm.
about the casting to begin with, you know?
I had no idea he was casting. I had absolutely no idea he was casting. In fact, I feel like whenever I've actually gone seeking something in my life, like whenever I hear about this big project that's being cast for and I reach out to them or whatever, it's never really like that route has never worked out for me. Um, Things have always happened very unpredictably and very suddenly in my life. Every single film that I've been a part of, which is very surprising and very random. So I had no idea that they were casting for the film. And One day I got a call from Hani Trehan, who's a casting director that I really like and respect. But I didn't personally know him well at that point. It was the first time that he was sort of reaching out to me. It was the first time I was talking to him, and he called me, and he called me at night, and he asked me to share some pictures of mine with him, and he urgently wanted to meet me the next day, and I had no idea what was happening. Um, so I met him the next day, and I enter his office. We exchange pleasantries, small talk. Um, I sit down on the table, and we're facing each other. And he goes like, "So there's this film that Majid Majidi is directing," and I was like, and I had no idea about the project. So I was like, "Okay," because I've been a huge fan of his work, and I've grown up. I wouldn't say grown up, but like during my teenage to like early 20s, I've watched a lot of Majidi Sir's films, Children of Heaven, Colors of Paradise, Baran, like actually all of his films, because I used to be a cinema, I studied cinema. And so it was very surreal. And he was like, "So, there are these so superstars who are already sort of being considered for the role. But we're also thinking of, going an entirely different way, maybe, and casting somebody who's completely fresh, who hasn't done any Hindi film so far." um, and the names were intimidating, of course. But I was like, "Hey, I really, I love cinema and I love him as a filmmaker. And wouldn't it be great if I got to be a part of it?" So he shared like a character description with me, and he wanted me to, sort of interpret the character myself and dress up as the character, get into the vibe of the character, and click some pictures. So I dragged my father, and we went out, and um, we took some pictures, and I shared it with him. And yeah, I got a call after like a week saying that it was done and I was in. So it was pretty quick. It was very unexpected, and it just sort of came out of nowhere.
What do you think you did right in the audition? This is another thing for a lot of people who want to act, like, and auditioning can be very intimidating and difficult. Like, what do you think you did
Right.
right that you got such a big project?
Um, the surprising thing was that most auditions that happen, they give you a scene out of the film or some other film of the directors, like some of the one of the previous films or something, and they ask you to like act. But Majidi sir didn't do that. He didn't ask me to act, so there was no audition per se that I had to give. It was just a look test where I dressed up as the character.
He
Yeah,
hired you
that's it.
on.
Yeah, yeah. I asked him later, when I got close to him, and once we started working together, I was like, "So, like, what if, what if I turned out to be like a horrible actor?" I was like, "What if it's really bad? Like not even remotely salvageable sort of bad,
Yeah, yeah.
So he was like, I don't know. I've never really gone bad with my instincts. And I think he's somebody who like functions, works on his instinct. And he always says that he was instinctually driven to sort of pick me. And, I guess he liked how I interpreted the character. It's like so the character's name is Tara, and she works in Dhobi Ghat. She washes clothes, she does istri, and she does all of that. And um, so there was a lot of detailing that went into my look test. I did my own. I was very particular about doing my own makeup, and I sort of like I bought like the correct shade of foundation. I darkened myself. I created some pigmentation. I like so much thought went into from the kind of bindi that somebody like that would wear to the kind of like bangle, like would it be like two bangles, would it be those green colored glass bangles, would it be like a thread around the wrist, like every little thing, every little detailing. I mean, you would know of all people, the
I was just
like
thinking, you're saying this, like now you see how important hair, makeup, and
it is
costume is.
so exactly like
You really,
even the kind of mangal sutra somebody's wearing
of
can tell so
course,
much about a character, right?
it,
It can
all the different
communicate so much.
eyebrows, anything, everything
Eyebrows,
matters so
exactly,
much. It's really,
exactly. Yeah,
that
like
is
I was
amazing.
I agree. I agree. It's such a crucial part of a character costume. I feel that they're very underrated. People don't really
They don't get
realize.
enough.
how they don't get their due, for sure, for
I
sure.
like if you look the part, half the battle is won. Then you
Absolutely.
have to actually then
Ab-
do your job and act,
Absolutely,
you know?
absolutely. Like
Yeah.
even when I'm performing, I get into costume, and you work with people who are good, who go the extra mile to add certain detailing to the costume, and it helps you as an actor. It helps you connect with the character more. Like that just happens.
Yeah.
Um, like 50% of my battle is done the moment I'm in costume. I feel like I'm the character. Now I just
Yeah.
need to like work on getting the emotion right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a very underrated but a very crucial part.
So I was gonna ask you other things, but I'm gonna quickly ask you about your current project because I'm seeing all these questions and people are like really about this movie Master. Um,
Yeah, it's a lot of hearts. Thank
do you
you.
have any idea? They're dying to know, like, is it gonna release anytime? Is there any plan for it? Because I have heard, at least in Bollywood, some directors whose movies were ready are releasing them on like Prime and Netflix and all. Like they're not
Yeah,
waiting
yeah.
for theater release. So do you have any idea what's going to happen with Master?
Um, well, I don't think we are going for a digital release as of now. That's not on the cards. But I think the producer would be like a better person to answer that question because
Yeah.
he's
Not as
taking the
not
calls, right?
not what you know as of now. Not that you
Yeah,
know.
exactly, exactly. I think right now all of us are just stuck in the state of limbo where we don't know what's happening. Like the lockdown started as a like a 2-3 week thing.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
kept thinking that it was like a small pause and we would hit resume the moment those 2 weeks were over. And then it kept getting extended and now I think there's so much confusion everywhere as to what to do and
Yeah.
what's gonna happen. So Master is we're waiting for things to get better and we do like the whole team is so excited to like put the film out there for the whole world to see it and to sort of celebrate the film with everybody, but I guess we'll just have to wait for now and see how this plays out.
Okay. And I want to ask you, so how are you like, because like you said, it's been so many weeks. How are you passing your time? Like, what are you doing at home in quarantine?
I've been so I think the last 3 to 4 years I sort of got caught up with work and ever since technology has become such an important part of our lives and social media has taken over our lives. It's very easy to sort of just be on social media whenever you have free time. And as a kid, I used to read a lot. I used to be that child whose nose was always like immersed in a book. So I think I've started reading a lot more. And there's no pressure to like go out or or even do anything. So I've been very with guiltlessly reading nonstop. I've been
What are you
watching a lot of films. Sorry.
what are you reading right now?
Well, right now I just started reading this book called Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy,
Okay.
which is a science fiction book. It's really funny and it's got all of these fictional sci-fi characters. I just started reading it, so I even I'm sort of like diving into that universe right now. But I stumbled upon it because I was reading Elon Musk's 20 must-read books, like books that have influenced him. And I think he's really cool. Everything Elon Musk is doing with
But
Tesla and
him
everything.
him naming his child an equation.
But I think I read later that that equation sort of translates to a name. Did you read that?
No,
I
I
think
don't know. Translate to I have no idea.
Kyla or Kyra or
Oh,
something.
really? I heard that in the state of California or wherever they live, you can't do that. He tried, but like by law, you can't submit an equation. So he had to
Also,
like he
also
had
that child's gonna have a horrible childhood if you name it that. It's but I think it was indirectly him playing a prank because he loves doing that,
yeah,
of putting out an equation which translates to a name. So it
yeah.
like the child's got an actual name. I forgot what it was, but it was
So
just
is sci-fi a genre you'd be interested in, like for a
so
film?
um I think it depends. It depends on the makers. It depends on, I think it depends from like script to script, right? It depends from story to story. Like some excite you, some don't. For instance, I've never been a fan of musicals, especially Hollywood musicals. I feel like I don't have the patience for it. But then I saw La La Land when it came out, and I
Amazing.
absolutely loved the film. I loved it. It stayed with me for a long, long time after I watched it. So sometimes, you might not be a fan of a particular genre, but there are always exceptions. I
That's true.
personally don't really relate to sci-fi much, or I'm not a fan. I'm not that person who'll go to a theater and watch a sci-fi film. Uh,
What are your three favorite international films and three favorite Indian films?
I think I'll start with Indian first. Okay, so it's really random, but while growing up, I used to love this film called Jo Jeeta Wohi Sikandar,
Yeah, I love it.
which
Not random at all. Everybody loves it. I don't know
it's
anyone
not
who doesn't
random,
love
right? Yeah,
it. So
I don't
good.
know, but nobody really says that when when you ask them about their favorite films, and people say all of these other films, Andaz Apna Apna, and like people have their own list.
Oh my God.
But I've never, yeah, but I used to love Jo Jeeta Wahi Sikandar. Like in the end, when Amir Khan wins the cycle race, and like you're rooting for the underdog, and I thought it was like a perfect commercial, entertaining Bollywood film. It had amazing songs.
Yeah.
I really like Lagan. I thought that was a really nice, you know. I think I clearly have a type when it comes to movies. I
You
like
like
these sports.
stuff.
I like I like the character winning in the end. So
Yeah.
I like Lagan.
In films which have sports, the audience gets really invested, because you're
Yeah,
rooting for a team to win. So it's like watching a match.
absolutely. Because I never realized this because my third film was gonna be Chak De India. So I just realized that I clearly have a type when it comes to
Yeah.
Bollywood films. I also really like Queen. I thought it was a funny film.
So,
It was a fun film.
yeah.
Kangana
What
was
about
really good in the
international?
film.
What are your favorite international films?
International films. I grew up in a family. I grew up with a father who has, like, while growing up, we had all of these, so many DVDs of different kind of films, like Mandarin films, Spanish films, Chilean
Wow.
films, Peruvian films, like all sorts of films lying around in the house because that was the era of DVDs before the advent of Netflix and all of these online portals. So I really like this Mandarin film called In the Mood for Love by this director called Wong Kar-wai. It's a beautiful film, and it's sort of a visual treat. The cinematography, and it's beautiful. In the Mood for Love. So I think that has to be my number one film.
Oh wow, I should.
And you
Hmm.
should you should check it out. Actually, it's a beautiful film. It's about two people who love each other, but so it's not really a love story. I guess it's about interpersonal relationships. So it's interesting. And what else? There are so many films. I can't seem to narrow it down to two.
In
But
Hollywood,
I
anything everyone will know.
I love Mean Girls.
Fun. I love Mean Girls.
I love
Well
Mean Girls.
written. It's so well written.
It is
The
so well
dialogue.
written, and I love Tina Fey. What a
Yeah.
boss woman! I love
Yeah.
her humor. It's kick-ass. It's a chick flick, but it's such a smart and well written chick flick. It's
Yeah.
something that you can rewatch. Like I can rewatch it even now, and I watched it when I was, like a young teenager, and I loved all the pink rooms and the pink clothes they had and all of that. But it's something I can still watch. Uh, all movies with Ryan Gosling in it.
Yeah. Eye candy always helps.
Yeah, specifically Ryan Gosling. I think that's the only celebrity crush I have, including Bollywood, Hollywood, including all the industries. Like Ryan Gosling is my go-to
That is very.
celebrity crush. And he's been
But
at that position for 8 years. So
yeah. Wow. Okay, I want to ask you, like, what do you think now? Like, we don't know when theaters are going to open. We don't know what the future of cinema really is because obviously at some point things will get back to a semi-normal, but it will be different. Do you think now that a lot of productions and films and work will just release digitally, and will digital become the king when it comes to cinema?
I think so. And I feel even pre-pandemic, it was sort of heading there, you know, because I realized that even I personally, as an audience, was consuming more. Like I was going out there shooting for films, uh, like theatrical sort of films, and coming back home. And my relaxation at the end of a long day would be digital content. Like I would
Yeah.
just go on a Netflix, or I would go on a Amazon Prime, and I would watch shows, or I would go on an Apple TV and watch the latest releases. Um, so I realized at one point that as a consumer, if this is where I'm heading, clearly a large
Every
part of the population is heading there as well. So definitely it was already the future, but now I think this has sort of given it more of a momentum. Um, so yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I do feel it is a very important part of the cinema consuming culture in India to still go to a theater and watch like a larger than life sort of film, like a larger than life sort of Bollywood film, or even a lot of these action Hollywood films.
Yeah.
But I think the way people are consuming a lot of other kinds of cinema is definitely changing.
I mean, there are films, especially like these huge magnum opuses like Bahubali and all, like you need to
Yeah,
see on a huge screen because
absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you watch it like the second, third time, that's fine. You can see it on TV. But the first time I
Yeah,
feel
yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
impact, like even a film like Lord of the Rings, or the first time, if you don't see it in that magnified way, I feel like the impact won't be the same, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Do you think the genre will stop now because people are watching more on TV? Do you think people will stop making these huge films that need that theater release?
Um, I do feel on the pro side of things, I feel that because there's no censorship when it comes to digital or web, and there are no targets to be achieved. Like you don't have to stick to a formula because you don't have to make like 100 200 crores when
More.
it's digital or for a web portal. So that pressure is not there. So I think people focus a lot more on content, on good writing, on good actors, like good everything. Um, the moment the formula is taken away, it becomes more about the content that you're making. So I think that's great about digital. Um, about about these larger than life films sort of going out of trend. I don't know, yeah, Purnia. It's just one of those things that, like we never thought this would happen, like this sort of a pandemic would happen. And as a result, cause long lasting changes in so much of our behavior patterns as consumers. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Like maybe if people can't go into the theaters for like another 8 9 months, then maybe that culture will eventually die down. You don't know.
Yeah.
But I personally love watching these larger than life films. Like I loved watching Bahubali. I'm a huge Bahubali fan. So
I
I
love
hope I loved it. It was like
I just
watching Amar
think that
Chitra Katha come to life.
yeah, everything somehow really works.
Yeah,
I've been discussing
yeah.
and I've been really feeling that the fashion industry in India and and the world at large was very wasteful, you know? We used to have so many fashion weeks unnecessarily, so many designers producing so much stuff which most people are not even buying. Um, Everybody looking the same, copying each other.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
overload things and so much in high street fashion where things are being made in bulk. Um,
right.
and I just felt like it was a very wasteful industry in terms of even the resources we were using, you know, whether it's water,
Right.
electricity, whatever it is. And I think fashion is completely going to change now because um, after this people are not going to have the kind of budgets that they used to have
Hmm.
to be able to be so large in production, and you know they're going to have to like downsize. And I think
Hmm.
people are getting more, finally they're forced to think about being more conscious and substantial and sustainable. Do you
Yeah.
think film industry is going to go through a similar u-haul where like they are going to change practices to be a little more sustainable and less wasteful? So I was talking to a friend of mine who's a stylist,
Hmm.
and she was saying that now for advertising shoots for actors, you know how like you're doing an ad as an actor and there's so many people on set. I don't even know who these people are, half of them. You know, there's like thousands,
Yeah.
and I don't understand. So now they made a rule that like if they're going to shoot XYZ ad, it will shoot for half the amount of time. There are only essential people allowed on set, and you're going to only shoot for a few hours. So that means you're using that much less electricity. You're using
Hmm.
everything that much less. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So do
Hmm.
you think
Hmm.
the film industry on a whole is going to change the way they function to be a little more sustainable and less wasteful?
I think it is definitely the need of the hour that we do move towards sustainability in whichever form we can, you know. I saw a lot of production houses, especially a lot of advertising production houses, try to make this shift from using plastic bottles
Yeah,
to like glass bottles, or like individual
something
metal or
reuse.
copper or like whatever, yeah, something that like reusable bottles basically. And I've that itself, like something that small, which seems small, uh, itself can
No,
make such a big change.
huge change. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Because the first thing that you notice when you go to any movie set, or even if you enter like a vanity van or caravan or whatever, the first thing you see is like a big box full of like a lot of water
Water.
bottles, plastic bottles, and that's there everywhere on a film set. So if you can eliminate that and just, sort of make people use reusable water bottles, or something which seems as small like that, can be very impactful.
It's so
And actually, I was reading about this the other day, about how there are films which are consciously trying to create an environment which aims at sustainability, or aims at reducing the carbon footprint as a movie or as a film show that you leave when you work on the project. I think it was Jurassic Park: The Fallen World, when they released, like when they were filming, I think a couple of years back, they sort of it was a part of their pre-production to aim at sustainability, reducing carbon footprint, and they had an entire chart of like things that they would do differently, including giving away, the like storing away the materials and raw materials you use for movie sets,
yeah,
to
don't
repurpose. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
don't throw it away. You can repurpose it in your other productions, or give it to
yeah.
like theater companies, or give it to like schools, or like whoever, like basically recycle and repurpose. And the same can be done with costumes as well. You
Yeah.
don't need to like just put it in a box or just store it indefinitely. It can be recycled, repurposed. If wearable, then it can be donated, or it can be given to like acting schools. There's so much you can do if you put like a little bit of thought into it.
That's true. These are some really good ideas. What do you do personally, like in your life, to be a little more sustainable?
Um, I am not a fan of, in fact, I've never been a fan of fast fashion.
Hmm.
Uh, it's something that, initially, of course, I didn't realize it didn't come out of a space where I wanted to be
No, we
sustainable,
all
or I wanted to.
in our school and teenage years, you know.
Sorry, I lost you there for a
I
second,
all
Purna.
we've all contributed to fast fashion at some point in our school or teenage years
We
because
have.
it's easy to access. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I think I've sort of always, like, there are a lot of things that I have done in my life which are clearly not sustainable, which I'm aware of now. But I think when it came to clothes, I think as a person, I'm always drawn to more classic pieces, So I sort of buy basic t-shirts, or even if I'm buying dresses, I buy LBDs, and like, so I've always so I've never really been a very trend focused person, as a result of which I haven't gotten around to buying a lot of fast fashion. Like, I have shopped from brands which are very fast fashion focused, which I'm trying to like change now. um, yeah, so that is something that also, I think general reduction in usage of plastic, you know I think that is something.
People don't realize how much plastic they use. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
When
yeah,
they
yeah,
take a restaurant or they're small things like now it's really nice. I see in Bombay, like a lot of people take their own cloth bags for like groceries.
yeah,
Like you don't
yeah,
realize how much plastic you end up using, but you have to just kind of make sure
exactly.
these little things make a difference.
Exactly. Like, I see my mom doing that, like even if we go to a supermarket. And earlier I used to tell, like, initially we were so used to plastic bags that I used to just tell her that, why are you carrying these cloth bags? Just they'll give us the bags. But she does these things in her own little ways, which I am trying to pick up now. And she's like, no, why waste plastic? And so she makes a mental note to like carry like 2, 3 cloth bags, and she'll put it in her handbag, and um, like, yeah. So these are little things that we can do from our end to, also, I'm personally not a fan of makeup which focuses on animal testing, which promotes animal testing. That's something I'm not a fan of. Uh, I'm guessing that comes under sustainability. I'm not sure.
Well, it's definitely being humane and it's under a lot
Yeah,
of
it's
other.
cruelty free. Basically, it's cruelty free.
Yeah,
So I've just
that's.
been trying to shop from brands, be more conscious of like what I'm buying as an
But
individual.
you have that lovely Mallu skin, which probably needs very less makeup anyway.
Yeah, it's a lot of coconut oil.
No, I'm
It's
telling
not very
you,
lovely at the moment. I'm breaking out a
blessed.
little bit.
No, they're blessed. A lot of them with great skin. It always looks so clean and nice, and they don't age. So my gurus, I do kuchipudi, and my gurus are from Andhra. I mean, my guru
Oh,
is in his 80s. I mean, the man doesn't have any wrinkles. Like, they don't age. I'm like,
wow.
I don't understand this. Genes are so good. You're very lucky. Great genes, you know?
Thank you. Thank you.
But
Yeah.
what are you looking forward to the most after like quarantine is over? Like, what's the one thing that you're like, okay, this is like on the top of my list. I cannot wait to do this.
What's the thing I'm looking forward to?
Forward to the most.
Work. But I think actually I just realized that all the things I'm looking forward to I can't do anytime soon. Like I was looking forward to travel, but that's a
Yeah.
very far away dream right now. I had plans of going to Japan right before the lockdown happened. I was supposed to take off on 20th and go see the cherry blossoms in Tokyo and Kyoto, which has been on my bucket list for the last 5 6 years, and that has been pushed indefinitely. But I'm looking forward to see my friends actually. I really miss them.
Yeah. Just being social,
Just being
meeting people.
social, yeah. Just going out, having a
I'm
drink,
like
hanging out with
tired of
friends.
people through a screen. I'm like, can I just see you in person? That'd be so nice.
Yeah, it's just so virtual. It's
But
I'm just craving for human connection at this
exactly.
point.
I mean, I have always loved staying at home. Like it's like a thing I love to do. But the thing is, I love having people over. So what's killing me is that I can't have friends over and do like a fun thing at home because I don't mind
Yeah,
staying. But I'm like, I don't want to be here like alone. I don't want to have
yeah.
people over.
And
But
it's even if you're home, it's always nice to have the option of stepping out, you know?
exactly,
So
you can't do something. You know what I mean? If you don't want
exactly. It's
to,
like when somebody exactly. It should be out of
yeah,
personal choice.
yeah, yeah. But you know what? Okay, I just want to ask you one more question, and then we can take questions from the people on this live. So, guys, if you have any questions for Malavika, please send them now. We can answer if you have any. I just want to ask one last thing. Because I keep thinking about this kind of stuff. What advice would you give to anyone who wants to get into the industry you're in? Because people, when I ever open questions out, the number one question I always get is people asking me that how do I become a stylist or how do I start my own business
Right.
or because that's my industry. And so what's your advice? Because now you're a couple of films down, you work with international director as well. So you're quite well versed and you're still at the beginning of your career, so you're still fresh. So everything will be very fresh in your mind as well.
hmm
So
hmm hmm
what would you tell girls or guys, like what should they be doing?
Um, I think it's just a lot of people tend to get caught up in they see the journey of other actors, you know. Like for example, if it's a guy wanting to make it, they'll be looking at the journey of somebody like Vicky Kaushal, who's had who's become so successful in like the last couple of years, or like a Ranveer Singh. And if it's a girl, they'll be looking at like Alia, or they'll be looking at whoever has sort of made it in the last few years. And I think we try to emulate the journey of others, thinking that what worked for them might work for us, instead of keeping our eye open to opportunities which are coming our way, which we're not really seeing or noticing because we get caught up. Ki, no, but this is not what she did, or this is not what he did. So I've seen that happen to a lot of people. So I think it's important to realize that everyone's journey is different. Like everyone's journey is going to be different. Some people start from the South industry and then sort of get into Bollywood. Some people sort of win Miss India and then get into Bollywood. Like everyone's journey has been so different. What puts you in the spotlight? So I think just keep your eye open to opportunities. Don't shut yourself off the idea of, like, I've also seen actors who sort of come into films through the digital medium, and that's something a lot of, like, I would have to admit that even I've been like a part of that group which wasn't very keen on digital. I've never been very keen on like doing web series because I've always wanted to focus on feature films. And I've seen actors who've sort of taken that leap of faith, who've sort of taken, like, done like a really cool web series or something, and they've, you know, uh, like the body of work has been amazing since. So I guess just be aware of what's coming your way and just hustle. Hustling is important. Just try meeting as many people as you can.
And
Work on your craft constantly.
yeah.
Also groom yourself. Figure out what makeup works on you, what hairstyle works on you. I wish there was somebody to guide me when I started off my career. I look horrible in my first film because there was nobody to tell me that, don't put like thick kajal. Something as simple as that. I wish somebody had to, this black kajal that just smear on your face and you think it looks amazing. I wish there was somebody to tell me like what kind of hairstyle looks good on me. You know. So sort of, and nowadays it's become a lot easier for people because you can go on YouTube, you can try things out on yourself, you can take pictures, you can see what looks good on you, what doesn't look good on you. So I think as an aspiring actor, it's also important to give a lot of importance to how you look, how you groom yourself, because it's a very visual industry, you know.
Somebody has asked, what are your plans? Any plans for Bollywood?
Yes. A lot of plans for Bollywood. I have signed a very, very exciting film. But they've asked me not to talk about it till they don't announce it, which has been put on hold till the lockdown gets over. So I guess I'll have to wait for a couple of more weeks to talk about it.
But that's good. At least there's something in the pipeline. That's
There
exciting to
is,
hear.
there is, there, it's a very exciting project with a
Yeah.
with like really exciting team. So I'm really
Masaba,
looking forward to it.
she was saying hi to both of us.
Hi, Masaba. I'm
Yes, I
really
am.
looking forward. Masaba has a series coming out. I'm really looking forward to watch it because I've done a
That's,
cameo in it.
oh, you have?
I have. It's a whacked out cameo.
How fun. How fun. Okay. Somebody also asked, how was it like working with Vijay sir?
It was amazing working with Vijay sir. I've always been a fan of his films, and he's very, like, when you start working with him, he's very quiet, and he takes a little time to open up to people. But once you get to know him, and like, we did the whole film together. He's the sweetest and the most humble superstar I've ever met. Like, he's so down to earth, so grounded. So it's been absolutely amazing, and now he's become a very close friend. So yeah, he's been amazing to work with.
And the film, the whole experience in the film was amazing.
The film was amazing. The film had a very young crew, so from the director to the associate directors to the costume person to the fellow actors, like everybody. It was like working on a college project because we're having so much fun and doing like so much musty. And that's not the case with every film. There are some films where the whole atmosphere is a lot more serious and disciplined, and you're like Beyond the Clouds, the film that I did with Majidi sir, that was a lot more disciplined. Because I think that's his style of working. It's a style of film. He expects like his actors to be disciplined, not look at our cell phones while we are working, not do chit chat, no banter, no musty. So that's his method of working. This movie, the director was all about having fun. So yeah, Master was a fun college project sort of film.
And sometimes when you have a lot of fun on set, it kind of shows on screen, like that kind of lightness and that enjoyment. It translates
It
to the audience.
does.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. And I feel it's important for everyone to have a good time, you know, for everyone to just sort of have a positive vibe and positive energy towards the project. It's important to be kind to people, to be nice to people. It's important for everyone to sort of, be responsible towards creating a very positive environment on a movie set.
Somebody asked when you're getting married, but please don't answer. You don't even ask the question on your behalf. I'm going to just say that honestly, that's not the end all goal for every girl. So please.
I don't think my parents
Constant,
have asked me this
huh?
till now. My parents haven't asked me this till now. You
Yeah,
know,
and I'm just
they have never asked me when you're getting married. In
yeah,
fact, my mom tells me, "Why do you want to get married anytime soon?" You know, she's a homemaker. So she's like, "Why do you want
yeah.
to get married? What do you sit at home and then you'll have to like, just look after your children." I mean, it's great at the right time, but why do you want to do that from now? So I have very supportive parents.
To each his own. I feel like marriage is so personal. I don't know why the whole world wants to know. Someone's asking about your skincare regime.
Skincare regime. I've grown up with a Malayali mother who believes in a lot of kitchen remedies and a lot of Ayurvedic skincare. So for us, it's been about a lot about different kinds of hair oils and coconut oil, like I was saying, plays a major factor in like we have anything we put coconut oil. So there's an allergy, put coconut oil. Skin has there's a breakout, put coconut oil
To
because it's an
scratch
antiseptic.
any kind of like scars, you put coconut oil on that also.
It works. It's an antiseptic. It's an antiseptic. So it heals. Yeah.
Is it
Skin
good for
is dry, put coconut oil. Take off makeup, put coconut oil. It can like there are times when I've been on like movie sets and I've traveled for an outdoor schedule and I've just forgotten to carry my makeup kit. And I just asked them for like a little bit of coconut oil and I just use that to take off my makeup. So it's a very multi-purpose tool and it's really good for the skin. And I'm a firm believer of that wherever we are from, like wherever our ancestors are from, genetically, the kind of things that we're like, the kind of diet or the kind of food habits we're used to, it works wonders for us. So I come from,
I
a place which is all about like our diet, like staple food is fish and rice and coconut oil. So I don't try to cut this out of my routine. I try to incorporate it because I feel that's what our that's what genetically we're used to, right?
yeah. Someone just asked, who is your inspiration?
Who is my inspiration? I think I have different inspirations for like different when it comes to different things,
For
Like
work?
for work, I look up to a lot of actors. Um, I really look up to Meryl Streep because I think she's just amazing and she's one of the best actors we've ever seen. Um, and then there also I also feel we take a lot of inspiration from people we feel we can relate to. Like I find Priyanka Chopra very inspiring because she's come from like a small town or any town in India and she's sort of like hustled and made it on her own. Like she's done
Yeah.
Miss India, then she's done Bollywood, and then she sort of made the transition. So it sort of shows you like where like life can take you places, and your graph can be monumental if you work towards it. So I find her very inspiring.
Yeah. I think she's basically taught everyone that the world is very small and
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
and that's also what I love about digital cinema is that everybody can watch your work, no matter what language it is
Yeah,
in, and you
yeah,
are basically catering to a worldwide audience, which is really amazing.
absolutely. Absolutely. It's making the world a lot smaller. You see
Yeah.
Spanish actors acting in like some Indian web series. You see Indian
Yeah.
actors who are a part of, you know,
I'm
UK
never
series.
my parents and like of that generation, they're watching like Spanish shows and all. I would never dream.
Are they watching Money Heist?
Yeah, like Money Heist, a couple of other shows I made them watch. Like one show I made them watch was in Hebrew, and like
Oh,
they
wow.
would
Which show is
never.
this? Even
Oh,
I
it's
want to
really
watch
good.
it.
It's so there's one called Caliphate, which is in Arabic and Swedish. Very good on
Okay.
Netflix.
Okay.
Then there's one called Fauda, which is in
Okay.
Hebrew and Arabic.
Okay. Okay.
It's so good. I loved it. And
Yeah.
also it's a true story about Palestine and Israel, and it hits you hard because this is their reality and it's really sad, but it's really well
Right.
made. And then
Right.
there's
Oh,
another
I'm
show.
gonna check it out.
Check these out. And there's another show that and I keep telling my parents watch this, watch that. There's a show called oh my god, on Netflix. It's about this Jewish girl. I'm forgetting the name. I'll message you.
Okay.
I'll message.
Yeah,
But
sure. Sure. Let me know. Let me know
people who
whenever.
would never watch things in other languages are now happily watching, actors
Hmm.
from all over the world. And then for actors in India, it's the same
Yeah.
thing. Like everybody will watch you. It's amazing.
Yeah. In fact, I feel it's making the world smaller for actors also. Like instead of like I think it's opening the door to you like potentially working in Hollywood projects. Because as an actor, there is so much content out there are casting for so many people casting for different kinds of Indian characters. So if you end up working on like a really good web series, and it sort of shoots you to popularity, and as a result of which you sign like a couple of Hollywood projects or like British,
Never.
projects, you
Yeah.
never know what's going to take you where.
Oh,
Like a lot more
someone said
opportunities are opened up.
unorthodox was another show. Thank you, whoever that was. I just told you about. No, Malavika, it's so good. Only 4 episodes. You have to watch it.
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna
Unorthodox
check it
on
out. Now I
on
have a list of new content to watch.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of things not in English or Hindi, which is kind of refreshing also. After some time you just want to watch something else
Yeah,
from
yeah,
other parts
yeah.
of the
No, I'm
world.
definitely gonna check these out. They sound really interesting.
Yeah. Now I just wanted, before signing off, because we haven't spoken enough about fashion, and I don't know why, but
I don't think we've spoken about fashion at all.
yeah. So you said your fashion, like your style is very classic, right? And
It
like,
is.
who is your style icon in India and international?
Um, International again because I like classics. I'm a huge fan of Coco Chanel. I have read biographies on her. I've read a lot of books on her, and I think she's been such an instrumental part of what fashion has become today. She's what brought she's the one who brought minimalism to at that point a fashion culture which was just over the top and frilly and just extravagant. And she made it minimal. She made it she made the cuts cleaner. She made it so different visually from what it was. So I think I love her journey and what she's done. And I personally love Chanel as a brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never go
So
wrong. Yeah.
you can't. Like, it's just amazing. I recently bought a bag before the lockdown started, and it started 2 days like after it got here, so I still haven't been able to use it. But I love Coco Chanel. And
Yeah. Who's your style icon?
in India, I like um there are I really like Maharani Gayatri Devi. Again, very classic, but in an Indian way. Like pearls and the kind of saris and her hairdo and her lipstick, and very, very, very Indian classic. And I think because I'm a South Indian, I'm also a big fan of um, a lot of like Kanjivaram saris, like the gold traditional temple jewelry. So I like there's this iconic Malayali actress called Shobhana. And I like the way she
She's
dresses,
a dancer as well, right? Is
Yeah,
she
she's a
that
beautiful dancer. Yeah, yeah, she's an amazing
gorgeous?
dancer. She's a
Yeah.
Bharatnatyam dancer.
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
beautiful.
So she's beautiful, and she dresses in a very simple way, but I really like her. I like the way she puts herself together.
And do you think that now, after this, sustainable fashion is going to be a big thing for you personally?
I don't even remember what clothes I have anymore because I've been jumping out of my pajamas into my robe and back into my pajamas.
True. That's
But
but the
but yeah,
best. I would
mhm.
say the best way to first is just to shop in your own closet and buy and wear whatever you have, because I feel like half the time we don't even know what we have in our own
we
closets because
yeah we underutilize our own
yeah,
closet.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then
Like, there
I
are so
think
many pieces I have which I haven't ever worn, and I'm going
exactly.
out there and buying new stuff, and I'm just like, I just need to like sort of I need to repurpose my own wardrobe.
I've been telling everyone that why don't you guys do a spring cleaning and just figure out what you have, and
Yeah,
whatever you want, give away, whatever you've not worn, make it a priority that I'm going to first use all of this before I even look for
yeah,
other.
yeah.
And also, I think now after this, even for actors, it's really important, I think, to support brands that are doing their bit. So
Hmm.
brands that are trying to be more conscious and more sustainable or more
Right,
aware of their practices. And I think because actors are role models, whether you want to be or not, you are one. You know what I mean?
right,
It's what.
right. Yeah,
So
yeah,
I think it's nice if actors support brands who are trying to make a
yeah.
difference. You know,
I agree. I agree.
that's a
Yeah,
conversation that I'm having with people too. Like, because I'm like, you know, what you do really
yeah.
influences people. So you should, then you
Yeah,
have to think.
absolutely. Like, there are a lot of brands out there. For instance, like one of the many examples is that brands who are sort of working with local artisans or
Yeah,
local textile makers, and sort
yeah,
of feeding their families, and at the
yeah,
same time making beautiful clothes. And there are a lot of, I've seen an increase in this trend over the last 5 years, where a lot of designers are working with like local artisans and reviving a lot of handloom and handicraft, and it's nice. Like, I mean, the only way they can survive is if we support them.
Skills don't get passed on
Yeah.
from generation to generation. If no one is giving them a job, then they don't teach their kids how to do it, because they're like, there's
So someone saying, Pernia, you are beautiful.
oh, thanks guys, I've become quite
Pernia,
fat.
someone just gave you a really nice compliment saying you look really pretty.
I don't feel
No,
it,
you
but
haven't. What rubbish. You look lovely.
no, I'm just so like, I don't even know. I think I'm just gaining weight from stress. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm just every day I tell
What are you
myself,
stressing about? This is like the most stress-free time. There's
I
nothing to
know this
do.
is when you have a personality, a stressful personality, then nothing can help. That's the problem. And it's not like I dance, I do yoga. It's not like I'm like not trying to like relax my mind, but I have issues. I don't know what to do. So I think I'm
Just,
just
just,
feeling
just, just meditate, Pernia. Just meditate.
I want to just like run somewhere, like run on the street. I don't know, something.
Soon,
Anyway,
hopefully, very soon. Hopefully, in a
yeah,
couple of weeks.
yeah, and I hopefully we can hang out, and I really want to do a shoot with you, because I feel like now that I'm like on a video chat with you as opposed to photographs and all, like, I mean, you have such a beautiful look, and I mean, I think for our brand, because we have a sustainable brand called Good. I mean, you're perfect.
Okay. Thank you.
Because I
Thank
mean,
you. Yeah, we should definitely do something.
yeah, we have to do something. I've always wanted to associate with girls who look earthy, who look like who look like they would wear this brand. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Anyway,
definitely would because it sounds
yeah.
nice and it sounds comfortable and
My God, comfortable. Yeah, everything is made from like plants, so it's super comfortable. But yeah, I just
oh, it sounds amazing. Yeah, for sure.
fun. And you know what? I didn't realize that we almost finished an hour chit chatting. Um,
Yeah, neither did I.
yeah,
It seems like
it
it's
was
been like some
good.
20 minutes or something.
It was good, and it was a good mix of some questions too. I think everybody's very excited about your movie Master.
Yeah,
Um,
everyone's very excited because it was supposed to release on April 9th. So we were at the brink of it, and we had this really large audio launch and all of that on like 16th of March. And the film was, we were supposed to start promotions and release. So everybody was waiting with bated breath, and then this happened.
but you know what? It's better,
Um,
because what if it released and everyone was told to stay home? That would have been worse.
I know. What if it had released and in a week like the theaters had, like they'd shut the theaters. That would have been horrible.
This is better because at least whenever you do it, it will be done properly and people can watch it.
Yeah, I was speaking to the director a few days back, and we were having the same conversation. We were like, we're lucky that we didn't like this didn't happen right after the film released. So now we have time to like wait it out and pace it out and see when things open and see when people can go back into theaters, sit in close proximity, or as
And
opposed to it having released.
while you're waiting for Master to release, why don't you go watch her older films? Like, go watch those. Your Beyond the Clouds is on. I saw it somewhere.
It's
It's
on
on.
Netflix. It's on Netflix. Yes.
Watch
Beyond the
that.
Clouds is on Netflix.
Yeah. And any of your other films on these digital platforms?
Yeah, there's a film I did with Rajinikanth called Peta.
And
But I'm
where
not
is
sure what that's on anymore actually because I saw it a bunch of times in the theater and so I haven't seen it myself on digital but
but
it's somewhere. I think it's on
so there you
it's on
go, guys.
Netflix. I think that's
Watch
on
and
Netflix.
watch Beyond the Clouds in anticipation of Master.
Which will be out soon.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure when it's ready, right? It's absolutely ready. So
It's ready. Yeah. In fact, they just started post-production work on the film from like the last Monday. So like a couple of days back because I think they're easing on the lockdown a little bit. So in
yeah,
Chennai, they've started work on the film again.
yeah,
Yeah.
amazing. Okay,
So
well, thank
soon.
you. So much fun.
It's
Guys,
been amazing talking to you, Purnia. We should
I know you
definitely
too,
catch up
Malavika.
once this is over.
And guys, in case any of you joined later and you want to go back to this conversation about anything that we were talking about, you want to revisit the conversation, it's going to be on the page for 24 hours, so you can watch it. Okay, thanks,
This is my
Malavika.
first live session, so even I
Oh,
didn't
it
know that. So
was
thanks for the
fun,
new
right?
information. It was fun.
Yeah, it's just like having a little chat with someone,
And you're
but
very easy to talk to, Purnia. Easy and fun. So I think that's what made time fly by so fast. But I'm glad we did this, and I hope we do the shoot again soon.
Yes, inshallah, very soon. All right. Take care. So good to see you. We'll see you soon in person.
Bye. See you
Bye.
soon. See you soon. Bye.